Check it. Hi, everyone. Ooh, I'm very blue. Oh, that's right. Sorry. There's a lot that I've had to do in the last 5 minutes. A lot of things to check. Hello. Hello, hi, everyone. How's everyone doing? We got a bunch of subs. Adane Chan, Inspector Sassy Pants, Double Forte, Claridactyl. Thank you all so much for your subs. How's everyone doing? Yes, I'm wearing the Visney shirt. I have a hair that is persisting to tickle me arm. Marnie Pixel. That's fantastic. You gotta love cats. We clipped our cat's claws today, and they hated it, and then we're immediately fine. We wrap them up like a little cat burrito, and Jacob holds them, and then I clip as fast as I can without hurting them. And Joy was just going, and then we let them go, and Joy literally just sat next to me. Like, oh, it's over. We were asked how you doing after VR. I know it can make you very sick if you're not used to it. Oh, I'm okay. We did good bouncing back and forth to make sure that, we weren't getting too nauseous. We got some more subs from Dr. Stoked, King or 11, Lilo Illustra, cheered. Thank you. But anyway, where did I get my glasses from? Warby Parker. Have I seen my brother yet? No. My brother's coming for dinner. My sister-in-law is taking a class nearby, so he's just going to drive her and hang out with us, which is nice and fun. I haven't seen my brother, I think, since Christmas. I'm pretty sure I haven't seen him since Christmas. Maddie Cake subscribed, and also Magnus Martell subscribed. Thank you so much. I'm very excited to hang out with my brother. My brother and I get along very well. Beginner's Guide. Is he going to show up during the trophy stream? No.
We're not on the stream tonight.
We're not on the stream tonight.
Because of Julia's brother.
Because of my brother. My brother, unfortunately, was like, hey, I'm going to be in your area. Can I stay over with you while Teresa takes her class? And I was like, hell yeah, my dude. He was like, cool. I'll be there at 7. Until 9. Thanks, brother. Thank you. But it's a Nathan, Karina, and maybe David stream. Be sure to watch the stream. It's gonna be fun. Support our good Drawfee friends. I might do a bonus Drawfee stream during the week to make up for it, and also to help us get affiliate. We'll see how that goes. Sekhmet lives. Thank you for the sub. We're playing Beginner's Guide. I've already played Beginner's Guide, before anyone asks, and it is a time for feels. It is a time for feels, especially if you are an artist, or you make things. Nick watches things. Thank you for the sub. It's a very emotional time. It's mostly just about, how personal art is. So, heads up there. Frillability Art subscribed. Thank you. I'm gonna sneeze. We're good. So, I think for this stream, I'm gonna try not to talk over the guy because a lot of it is listening. And it's all about the emotion and the vibe. You know, I love them vibey games. So we're just gonna hang out, see how it goes. I don't know if this is gonna be a good stream game, which is why we're doing it today. So we're gonna see. It's gonna be a nice, chill, emotional time. Let's get into it. Let's go. I gotta turn on my desktop audio. Is this too loud? How's this sounding for everyone? How is this? How's this sound? Rinsun Puna, thank you for the sub. Full captioning. Oh my god, Mike Eagle Dick just gave out 10 tier 1 subs. Thank you very much. It's quiet. Okay. We'll see. Maybe this is better. How's this? I have full captions on. No one worry about it. We're doing it. Speaker configuration. I'm listening to it through my headphones, but I keep it on 2 speakers for use. Alright, everyone's saying sounds better. Cool. Let's get into the game. I hope everyone enjoys this game as much as I do. No spoilers in the chat if you've played it. It's gonna be chill. Let's do this. Let's get into it. Please make sure audio is on. Done. Roused.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote The Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game.
Thank
As
you
each
for
game
all
is
the
loading, I'll
subscribers.
show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
I'm going to take this time to say thank you to Anonymous Gifter, and also so many hams, and also Drysenia. Wait, I said Drysenia. Thank you all. Yeah, I'm going to try not to talk over this guy, but this game is, it's an emotional journey about creating things and how much of yourself goes into creating things, and artist consent, and people who think that things that you make can just whatever. I don't want to ruin anything, but you're not going to be scared. You're not going to cry. You are going to feel things. It's very good.
Warning. Whisper machine active. Shift destruction imminent.
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda. You can click to fire the gun.
Security call breached. Hostile alien life form inbound.
It kinda looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Enemy force neutralized. Begin ship evacuation.
Enemy force neutralized. I did diddly.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room. Apparently, this space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Oh.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the Whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the Whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam. It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
Let me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
Goodbye. The maze.
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him.
I was about
Because
to solve
yes,
that
this
maze.
is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it. Like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
I was on the right track to solve that maze. The past was behind her. Oh.
Yep, in this game you can only walk backwards.
It's true. I'm pressing S. This is how I wanted to play The Exorcist yesterday. Going ass backwards. Through the...
So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Code is trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
When she stops and looks, it becomes clearer. Keep going ass backwards. But if the future is always behind her, how will she find the strength to confront it?
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that.
It's a good thought.
Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
Slow Mojo, you're right. It is technically ass forwards. It's an ass first approach. You are now entering the danger zone. You are now entering...
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting. Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games.
I played a game like
I wish
this.
I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
Shy by and ready to cry says, which by the way is appropriate for the stream, says, the ass first
Once you've been
approach,
slowed
something
to
we
an
can all get
absolute
behind.
crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
Standing on an X, staring at a bear for 3 hours. Game filled with chairs, except for one chair is floating. You construct a wall, the wall is destroyed. You are given a medal. Live on a
A
boat.
room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games.
A button you press to stop chaos.
Coda would often
It
tell
doesn't
me that
work.
he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold
Feels like
or
Twitter.
distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
People are asking about if the maker is not showing these games to anyone, how we have access to them. It's kind of the point of the game. You'll see. This game is very short, so it'll all become clear. All of your questions will be answered. Please hold the questions to the end of the lecture. The Matrix meets Control. Is this a horror game? No. No, it's a game to make you think and feel things about artist consent and things like that. Again, no spoilies.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it. don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're gonna see it a lot.
Is Coda a real person? No. This is all just a story for the point of... It's like a proverb. It's just a story with a moral in it. Please hold all questions to the end of the lecture. It's a very short game.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve the puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. Alright, now I'm going to modify the game again, so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room. How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
Uncle Iron Arms, thank you for the sub. Oh, we're back. You are now exiting.
Aha. So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the Stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is. Let's talk about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development. To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well. The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
Lime Remu, thank you for the sub and the nice words. This is one of those ones that, like, creatively I thought about for a very long time after the fact. My first time through. Reminds me of a planetarium I've been to. I love the brutalist architecture. So good. Get me off of this ride. This ride sucks.
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that. This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
That's a level of sass that I aspire to.
It's the puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time. There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
Jolly Bee Chicken Boy subscribed. Thank you. This game came out a long time ago. Like early 2010s. I think it's on just PC. I am probably gonna play through the whole thing of it today, so. You there? Did you
Here,
come up
Coda
from
begins
above?
using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
Yes, there's a world stamped with whiteness. That's the world above. You've been there. Now, this is important. Did you have to get through a puzzle with 2 doors and switches? Yes, I did. That was literally the last thing I did before coming here. Again, perfect. Now please, tell us how you solved it. Tell us the solution. Tell us how to get to the other side. Hey Jacob, can you blow out the candle please? Start this one. Not Dan Lynch subscribed, and also Oreo subscribed, and DJ Mon. Thank you all. Okay. Thank you.
Things I have to do.
Let's see. I don't remember how I solved it. I'm trying to remember, but I can't. I didn't solve it. Someone else let me in. Trust me, you don't want to go over there. So I'm gonna go with the first one. You must try harder, please. Try hard to remember. It is so important that we get out of here. We must escape this prison. Can you think harder? There must be something more. Please, tell us how to reach the end. Goodbye. Hello, how did you get there? Here. Was there a puzzle you had to pass through? Yes. Do you want to know how I solved it? No. We actually find the blank space between the doors to be far more interesting. Have you seen it? Why would I care about the space between the doors? Actually, now that you mention it, I remember a strange feeling as I passed through it. I don't recall a space between the doors. This game music is a little too loud. Do you want me to... I nudged it down a little bit. Don't worry, I'm sure you will. Oh, missed that dialogue. Whatever. Now we're in the Tate Modern. Vandulosity, thank you for the sub.
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
We use Streamlabs.
It's a lamppost. Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason, Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, you know, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
Not Dan Lynch, thank you for gifting a tier 1 sub. How's everyone enjoying this so far? Is there anyone in the chat who hasn't played this game before? This game is connected to the internet. As you walk around, you can leave notes. All notes you see are left by other players. Oh, a bunch of people haven't played it. Alright, good. I'm glad about that. I was worried that everyone would have played this game and it's just like along for the ride, but I absolutely love this game. It's just one of those ones, again, hit me so creatively and stuck with me. Nice room. Not. I do like that ceiling.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet.
What?
All of the notes that you're gonna see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually. Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them. Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness.
This is my thought when I opened Twitter.
Who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
Balls.
But it's ironic, isn't it, that in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, This idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Dakota's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
I love looking at just how many thoughts there are. Cade Bow, thank you for the sub. I refuse to believe. Butt ass butt. You go from a deep thought like, I refuse to believe, and then go to butt ass butt. I recognize you. Free t-shirt. I help people because the internal good feeling I get. New room! Do you hear the chimes? I would like very much to be desired. Take my hand, let's jump together. Cabbage shapes our nation. The dude from Avatar wrote that one. What is this painting? There's so many notes, I'm not going to read them all. There's so many good ones, though. Like Cabbage Shapes Our Nation. Stop faking it. Painting, what does it mean? Whoever did this has issues. You guys has it hanging. Help, I am trying to speak. Cabbage Shapes Our Nation. The dude from Avatar... all up in this room. You're right, it does look like dots. I misread Grayscale, who wrote James Cameron, and I thought it said James Cabbages. Alright, we're gonna proceed. Well, I'm here now. Yeah, we're all here now.
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one. In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on. And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
Unpleasant noise. Are you there? Please say something. Be anything. I just need to say something. Talk to me, please. Why are you having so much difficulty talking? Speak, 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 speak. Porn stars die
this
too.
one is tough. It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Nice skybox over there. This apartment would be like $5,000 a month in New York. Even if you had a view of like a parking lot, this would be like $5,000 as room alone. Are we back?
Oh, we back.
Yay!
Hell yeah. Internet dipped.
Internet just pooped out. Sorry, everyone. We lost internet yesterday around the same time, too, which is very frustrating. But we're back. So thank you all for being here. Let's get back into the game. Thank you, everyone, for holding on. I'm sorry about that. Let's hope it doesn't do it again. Because I really just want to get through this game and let it be vibey. Alright, let's go. Did you guys see this bit? You didn't see this bit. Should I restart the level? I'll restart the level. You got it. Porn stars die
this
too.
One is tough. It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Just jumping on the couch. Okay. I couldn't fit through the door. My brother the other day told me he was coming at 7, and he just sent me a text that said, "Hey, I'm coming at 7, not 6. I feel like that's a coded message. What are we congratulating State of Arizona on?
See, like, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
Good job, State of Arizona. Proud of you. Passing your AP test. What furniture ought to go in the center of the room? Giant hole in the ground. That's a table. Huge picture of a horse. I did not do well in my AP US history test. I think I did like fine. I passed, but I did great. I'm really bad at tests. I completely panic and have a meltdown. Let's do Tesla coils. It's kind of a Tesla coil, in a way. And a table. You need a table. And tables were invented in 1935. Oh.
There's a bit more to this one, but still, it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake. So, okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Hello, please walk forward. Okay. This guide will enable you to escape any prison environment. Follow the instructions carefully. Take care that you remember each step. First, click on this table. Good. Now go over to the photo frame and click to turn it slightly. Okay? Now, turn on the floor lamp in this room off, then turn it back on. Okay? Now go to the left side sofa. Move it over a little. Finally, touch the shelves. That's it. In a real prison, the escape will now open. Return to the start to be taken back to your prison. Okay?
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape.
I feel
Here's
that,
a
man.
version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside. Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen of them. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this. To see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop. That particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
It's spooky. Hello? Oh! god, my cat just scared the bejesus out of me. Hello, who is this? Hey, it's me. I'm you from after you escaped the prison.
Olive, do you want up? Olive!
Okay. You're me? So you were trapped in this prison too?
It's a conversation. And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
Not Dan Lynch. Good luck and congrats. That's very exciting. That makes me feel really happy. I'm still me, but I'm not somehow. It's hard to describe. Wait, if you're me, then did you get a call from another version of you when you were trapped? No, I think I'm the first person to get the call. Or to call back. And can you tell me how to get out? Maybe I can come find you. What do I have to do? To get out, all you have to do is be sincere. To get out, you need to tell me how you feel right now. To get out, just talk with me for a bit. What? That will free me? How does that work? Just talk to me. Okay, I can talk. Let's just talk for a bit. Will you be here? I'll be here for as long as you need.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice?
Happy birthday, Cheshire Comet. Did Yellow, thank you for the sub.
So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
Oh, I remember this one.
To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
This one kind of wigged me out. Well, my goodness. I'm glad as all heck that you showed up. Thought I might have to clean this entire house by myself. And right miserable that would have been. Everyone knows lonesome hands make
You'll notice
lousy
that the
homes.
quality of the art is a step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
Oh, I love this rug. Could you please clear the table? Done. Much nicer. That's the table I want to see. Now, would you please run to the bedroom and make the bed? Got it. Straighten out the rug, all the little details matter. Do you enjoy being a house cleaner? Well, I don't enjoy it as much as I need it. While I'm working, I feel a kind of calm that rests in the pits of my ribcage. My soul just can't be soothed any other way, it seems. Which I guess is all that matters. Oh, that and a teddy couch. Would you straighten the pillows on the sofa out there? Yeah, okay. It's a weirdly constructed home. Oh dear. Looks like someone spilled a drink over by the couch. Maybe mop that up while you're over there. I feel compelled to share a incredibly cheesy personal insight. Would you be okay with that? Make it especially cheesy. No. No, it was stupid. Sorry. Never mind. Hey, these dishes need to get washed. Why don't you come do that? Last time I checked, the tub needed a cleaning. How about you scrub it down as best you can? No need to be perfect. We're all just human. Are there still books scattered on the floor in the bedroom? If so, would you put them back on the shelf? I love these beams. Perfect. Now then, how about you come and
After the
clear these
intense
dishes
set
off
of
the
prison
table?
games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
Your housework is only as difficult to clean as you are. If you find the work hard, maybe you should have a bit of housekeeping to do before you come to work. Ha!
I know that Coda really liked this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time, just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
This hub has gotten rather dirty. Okay. Earlier, when I said I had a real cheesy thought, I was going to say that it occurs to me that one's house is a lot like one's soul. You take care of it, and it takes care of you. I don't know why I feel so weird about saying that. There's a bit of truth to it, no? Anyway. So, housekeeping. Let's keep doing this. Books. Would you please clean up the books? Thanks. Oh goodness, those pillows over on the couch are a real mess.
I'm glad he found some peace.
Question.
But, of course,
enjoy
it
this?
can't last.
Oh!
The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive. Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it.
Items
This
you love
one
at
gets a
members only
bit
prices.
goofy.
Why did you come here today? Was it to improve your life? Was it to get a better job? Was it to make your relationships more meaningful? No. You came here to become perfect. This workshop is going to teach you how to be perfect. I want your friends, people in your life, to look at you and think, wow, this person is a better human than I am. Right now, who do you think about that way in your own life? Who do you know that is so well developed as a person that they can make you feel disgusted with yourself, compared to whom you feel useless, selfish, ungrateful? I intend to make you into that person. Perfection is within your grasp. I don't think I'm going to do ads on this one. The question is not how do we do it,
About halfway through the game, the perspective shifts. And you play as the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
Ooh, hi. Olive's here. I still love you. It's just that you make me feel cold on the inside. I have a tail. Mara Bars, thank you for the sub. Maybe we will do ads so that I can hang out with Olive. I didn't want to break the mood, but it's happening. Let's do ads. Get yourself some water, do a bathroom break. Get all that done. Hi, everyone. Let me pull up cat cam. Olive is very happy that we cut her claws. Right? She's very cute. She's the sweetest. She's the sweetest little kitty. She's the sweetest little kitty. Sweetest little kitty. The bottom hat. Gifted 5 tier 1 subs. Thank you so much. Olive is very pretty. She's a very pretty cat. Very pretty, very shy. Has never hurt anyone. She's so cute. My little friend. Something that she likes to do is she likes to wrap her tail around my wrist when we're at the computer together. Like this. What? Do you want some attention now? Do you want some attention now, huh? Olive is friend shape. Olive is a friend. Olive is a friend and a delight and just a wonderful kitty. What? She just squished her little face into my tummy. Right, little kitty. Right, little kitty. Oh, she did it again. It's so cute. I love this cat. Right? You're a pretty girl. I didn't know how much I would like having cats. Because I've never had a cat before. Let me tell you, I love having cats. They're so cute. They're so cute. They're so sweet. Hello, kitties. Alright. Are the ads over? Nope. This game is one of those games that really just hits you when it's done. It all just ties together in a nice little bow. Caster Health brings up a good point. Stream tonight. Drop your stream tonight. Ads are done? Alright. Alright. Let's get back to the game. Right, Miss Olive? Your little purring machine. Alright. You are torturing yourself, trying to find the right solutions for your life. You're not doing it right. Ew, I'm developing a cyst. Gross. Ugh. Number 1 is like a abuser. There is no truth. There is no path. Do what is easiest. Do what is simplest. Feel what is true. Nothing. No one.
I felt pretty hard for this one.
Protection.
I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human. I think about this game a lot these days. This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
Ugh. That spooked me. Alright, the performance is beginning. Places, please. Good job, Olive. In this scene, you will be playing as me. We are at a gathering of professionals. First, we'll start out leaning against this wall. Good. Stay right there. The woman across the room in this chair is a professional photographer of animals. It's your dream to photograph animals professionally. This is your one chance to learn something from her, to gain something, to succeed. Come on, say something. Say something to me. Hello. Hello? That's it? That's not a conversation. You need to actually converse with her. Be a human being. Do it again. Here are all my hopes and dreams. No, no, no. That's not what I said to her at all. You're completely missing the tone of this conversation. I was reserved, but I knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason, it was just one moment, but I was confident. Maybe it's that you need a better feel of the setting. There are a lot more people around us. I'll give you some props to work with. These cones that bounce when you touch them will represent the people nearby. Now talk to her again. What are some sacrifices you had to make? You're messing it all up again. You'll freak her out if the conversation gets that personal that quickly. Do you not realize how important this was for me? I'll never get another opportunity like this again. Everything was riding on this. I want to try something. Try stepping back from the stage. Okay, yes. Now this is working.
The game ends with this eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer. But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
To play this game properly, you must keep your eyes closed. Click to begin the game. What's going on? Captain, what can we do? Help! I'm blind! There was a giant door. Then my vision went up. You can't see anything either. Please, someone talk to me. Please, don't let this be forever. I can't see anything.
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise. And there is a solution, by the way.
Please, tell me how to solve this. Am I going to be killed by the giant door? What's going on? Please, someone talk to me. The only way to stop is to speak something that is honest. Speak something that is honest. I can't keep making these. Yes, that's it. That's the truth. I don't feel like it anymore. I'm
Like
out
I
of
said,
ideas.
I was getting concerned.
It's draining
First
me.
off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way.
I have to work harder. We're going to be okay. I told you this game
His
is
games are
all
going
about
to
the
get more
sadness
desperate
of
from here
creative
on out.
process.
After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
Hello? I can't say hello without thinking of Karina's hello. Hello? Is anybody there? Is that a person? How lovely. It's been a long time since I talked to anyone. What's wrong? You look lost. I'm completely out of ideas. When I try to create, I feel empty. I have nothing left to give to my work. When I try to create, I feel empty. Oh no! What's happened? Did something change? There was a machine that kept me going, and it stopped. I'm trying to find this engine that used to protect me, to start it again. Wait, you're looking for a machine? I think I know where it is. It isn't far. I need to see it to know why it stopped.
If the last game featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
Perfect. Come along, and I'll show it to you.
Because from my perspective at the time, and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
I think about this game every single time I go through an artist block or a creative struggle. And every single time I'm like, I'm never going to draw again. Because I can't. I got nothing.
You
Happens a
can't
lot.
talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
I get burnt out quite a lot. These are just some words on some walls. Trust me, you'll see. You have to say that your work is fun and easy. You have to say that game development is simple and joyous, and that you love it 100% of the time. Okay, games are easy. Ah, that feels wonderful. Why did it feel awful when I said that? Don't worry about it. Just keep talking. Keep saying that creation is easy. It's easy, and it never stops being easy. Yes, that's wonderful.
Seeing
Keep
this
going.
game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering. This is someone I really cared about. And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me.
Any sacrifices I make for my work will be worth it 100% of the time. Yes, more. Keep going.
I don't know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop. But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
I feel like this game is bad for streams because if anyone comes in halfway, they're just like, what's happening? And I apologize. I just really was in the mood to get this lesson again. Man, glad to see you've arrived safely. We've captured the machine. It's waiting for you now. You can begin the interrogation whenever you'd like. I intend to be quick. I need to be quick. Very good. Just be warned that someone called the press, so we might have a bit of attention on this one. Also, one more thing that you should know about the machine. It calls itself Coda.
And of course, it's the machine.
You stopped. Your work is what's keeping us alive. Those people out there, can you imagine what pain you've put them through? I've been so low. Whoops, I pressed 4. That wasn't an option. I apologize for leaving me. I have seen the thing you fear. Alright then, I will apologize to the people on your behalf. The machinist is a creative process. We haven't seen the machine before, it's Coda. It's the dude we've been talking about. My followers, because I think we are also Coda. It falls on me to deliver bad news. I have had a troubling revelation. The machine will not apologize to us. The machine refuses to admit that it deliberately hurt us. But this is not important. We are stronger than it thinks we are. We will have to find a way to live without it. We do not need its games. Let us pay it retribution. Follow me. We will destroy everything that the machine has created. Coda, make sure your work dies here.
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for it? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
Ah!
So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
Boo, bad friend alert. Put down your I'm trying to swivel my camera and it's not doing. It's the only option I have.
I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something... I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy. So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
What's nice is that this game is as much about Coda as it is the narrator, if not more about the narrator.
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game. This room actually has a maze in it. Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise, so the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played, it actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
I pressed enter! There we go. I love the shots. The rest of this. I fell off the bridge. I was looking at the architecture.
And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze? The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
I've doomed us. I inserted a bunch of random things. 6. Dang it. 1. Here we go. Whoop. Alright. I would love if I got it wrong and the narrator was just like, it's right there. It's written big. It's big.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges, and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem.
You are the
I feel like
problem.
a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem. But I can open this door for you, so let me do that.
This feels like so many people I worked with that's like, I was just trying to be helpful by taking over your work and undoing everything you were doing and making it better.
Was I a failure for not understanding this game? I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why.
I don't know why you despise me.
I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time. And as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years, I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean. And he wouldn't.
It's a nice little touch with the purple.
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left, and it felt somehow like I had failed.
There's lag? I don't see why. Our internet's fine. Jacob, are you having problems with the internet?
No.
People are saying that there's lag spikes.
Are you getting any notifications about it?
No. People are saying a lot.
I'm running a speed test.
Jacob's running a speed test.
Wow. 225 megabytes per second.
So we're great. I do see that our bit rate is in the red.
Our upload speed, though, is abysmally low.
Are we uploading something that shouldn't be uploaded?
I'm working on an episode, which means that probably Google Drive is uploading things as I alter files.
Ah,
I might need to stop doing this.
I'm right at the end of the game.
Okay.
Are you able to just move it to a different place for now?
I mean, I have to... No. I have to close file stream.
It says our bit rate is better. I closed file stream from my end. So maybe that helped.
Alright, I close file stream. I'll just wait till you're done.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see if this works. speed is almost 230.
That's our download speed.
Our download speed. Our upload is
Horrid.
horrid.
And it's
Anyway.
because a bunch of things we're uploading.
Yeah. Alright, we're going back to the game. It's right at the end. It's where all of the emotions we've been feeling are coming to a culmination.
Where did I screw up?
Dear Davy, thank you for your interest in my games. I need to ask you not to speak to me anymore.
I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you. I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... it felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
I wonder at times whether you think I'm making these games for you. You've so...
And the people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, it was... I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
You've so infected my personal space that it's possible I did begin to plant solutions of my work somewhere, hidden between games. Bluja. Thank you for this up. If there was an answer, a meaning, would it make you any happier? Would you stop taking my games and showing them to people against my wishes? Giving them something that is not yours to give, violating the one boundary that keeps me safe? Would you stop changing my games? Stop adding lampposts to them?
And then you stopped. And I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean?
Did you simply let them be what they are? When I'm around you, I feel physically ill. You desperately need something that I cannot give it to you. I literally do not have it. Struggling to come up with new ideas is not making me depressed. Low points are just part of the process. The fact that you think I am frustrated or broken says more about you than me. Whoops. I realize that this doesn't make sense to you just yet. Which is fine. You're not my problem to solve. But I do hope that one day it clicks. That you make peace with this thing you were wrestling.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
And when you finally see what I'm talking about, don't say anything.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work, is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay. More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease. Solution. I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons. Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you. If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like. What now? I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for. And so I'm just gonna... Okay.
do think Coda's a woman. Because Coda rendered one person in this game and it was a woman. In a very pivotal moment where they lead you to believe that Coda's talking about themselves. Well. I really thought my game crashed, I'm sorry.
Turn back from this cave.
Well, that's beginner's guide.
You said, let me prove that I'm brave. Let me keep going.
As I said, that game, very pivotal to my whole creative process. I definitely related to both Coda and the narrator.
But I know that you're strong. So turn back.
It's so good. It's so good, and just make stuff, y'all. Make stuff and also just let people live. It's nice. But that's it. That's the whole game. We done so. And almost right on time as well. This game is like $15 on Steam. Pick it up so you can experience it yourself on your time, or so that you can reference it when you're in this headspace. It's really, really good. But it's really nice, and I think about it a lot. The person who made this game is the same person who made Stanley Parable. I don't know if they've made any other games, but that's it. That's all I can think of today. But make things for the sake of making things. Make things that make you happy. It doesn't gotta be a work of art. Just make stuff. But that's it. Speaking of things that are not making things that are a work of art, Drawfee stream tonight. Jacob and I are not going to be there because we're hanging out with my brother. But Karina and Nathan and maybe David are going to be there. Enjoy. So, I don't know, have a good rest of your day. Remember to wash your hands. Remember to wear a mask. Remember to be good to yourself. Have a good rest of your day. Goodbye.